A very warm wishes. I'd like to be a respectful lecturer of Material Design and Selection in TESL. My name is Priscilla Roy Peter, and today I would like to present the final assignment of the subject. All right, for this assignment, we were assigned to answer two questions and give examples briefly as well. So the first question is on how would computer-assisted materials aid in language teaching and learning, and provide 2 points and support with valid examples. All right. This question concludes to one major component, which is the computer-assisted learning, or we also call it as the call. It reconstructs how the students develop their major skills in English, reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. So the first point would be the educators design and evaluate materials majorly focused on those resources that support the four essential language skills development, which is again the reading, writing, listening, and speaking with the assistance of the call. Okay, as it is said, for example, the listening materials, for instance, will incorporate AI, the artificial intelligence, increasingly and being adaptive platforms that adjust difficulty in real time depends on the learner's performance. So the learners would practice listening using maybe interactive simulations or podcasts with subtitles. So they could keep track on it and they can learn it on a smaller pace, but eventually there is a progress on it. The second example would be for instance, the speaking materials, where it will be most likely to include speech recognition, that reviews their pronunciation and fluency. So students would engage more in conversations virtually with AI-powered avatars and participate in real-time debate through video conferencing applications and receive personalized assistance for better improvement. So basically, these um, accessibilities with the assistance of call would make the students' performance better, and also they would be able to uh, assess their performance by themselves, which brings to the second point. So this technology would not only enhance the access to quality materials, but also makes the learning more personalized, efficient, and engaging. For instance, applications such as Quizlet, Kahoot would evolve into more advanced gamification features that ensures the students remain motivated towards the language learning process. So these tools would also help them to keep track of their progress in real time and allow both the learners and also the educators to identify the areas of improvement and adapt instructions accordingly. So these materials that are also content informed, culturally relevant, and also skill focused will definitely help the learners to develop all their four language skills. And in a similar way, this technology will continue to provide innovative and more personalized, which would enhance their instructions as well. Let's move on to the next question, which is on what are the two crucial aspects for you in designing and developing materials for the enrichment of language? Okay. In my point of view, the first aspect is that the learning centeredness. Well, this is a pedagogical principle that also gives priority to the student's role in the learning process, and it also includes tailoring contents, activities, or even language input to the learner's age, proficiency level, cultural background, interest, and learning styles. So this learner-centered approach makes sure that the materials are not too easy, which would make the learners to disengage, nor too difficult to cause them frustration. So when the materials are tailored with their linguistic and cognitive development, they promote motivation and make them to sustain in the engagement in the classroom. For example, young learners get benefited from visual rich or story-based materials with songs and games that reinforces vocabulary through repetition and play. Meanwhile, the adult learners, particularly in academic or professional settings, they require materials that focus on functional language. For example, writing emails, participating in discussions, or interpreting academic types. So when this occurs, the educators could determine the types of language tasks that are most relevant for the particular group of learners effectively. The second aspect would be the integration of language skills in real life contexts. So, when an integrated skills approach, this would let the learners to develop their fluency and also flexibility. It helps them to navigate difficult communication scenarios. Educators can embed them with tasks that reflect the types of communication, apart from teaching grammar and vocabulary as isolated items. For an example, in a unit, maybe it's based on environmental issues. So it could include reading a short article, listening to podcasts, discussing solutions in groups, or even writing a persuasive letter to the local government official. So in this way, all four skills are practiced in a meaningful manner and give the learners the opportunity to use the vocabularies and structures in multiple formats. So by designing real-life tasks and providing contribution to contextualized learning, this helps the learners to understand how the learning is used, such as and when to say and how to say, perhaps. So, for instance, the learners can practice making polite requests, apologizing, and agree or disagree respectfully through role plays or simple classroom conversations. So, in my point of view, these 2 points ensure that the materials remain relevant, engaging, effective, despite the notice level and the learning environments. That's all for me, and thank you.